Bro, I barely even made it on time to get this thing done. Oh my dear God. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man to fire himself, Halfpint, once again, and bro, I didn't have enough time. There wasn't enough time for everything. Like, I'm still like trying to get everything down right now. They're like, no, stream's starting soon. Now, we had heads up. I was working on a video coming out very soon. It's already edited, and I'll have it posted very soon. How about that? I'm hoping to stream to see who's actually started it. I saw him in Halo's Ken's chat. Wait, what? I work, so I hope I see something. Ah, yeah, there'll be, should be plenty coming out. Pretty excited, though. Homie really got a Frozen movie dinner on his lap. What? Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, your dude's hungry. Your boy's hungry. We got the preview right here. Dude, this chat is popping off. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. They just popping off right now. They don't even care. Good God, everyone's like, come on, give us the gameplay already, which is fair. How's everyone doing so far today? How you guys all doing? Just awkwardly eat my food in front of you guys. Apparently you guys enjoy that a little too much though. You know, it's your guys' prerogative though. Where's chat? I don't have chat on screen. Break. Webcam labels? Oh, that can stay off. What's this? It's other labels. Okay. Alert box is on. Webcam is on. Top bar is off. They're starting soon. Here we go, boys and girls. You can turn that down. They still got like 10 minutes before we actually start this shit. So they're actually organized though. They actually know what's up. Test your audio before it starts. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. I'm looking at all my audio settings. He's eating now? Hot as fuck. See, this dude knows what's up. Everyone's saying, I'm ready. How about you? I'm ready! How about you? Jesus Christ. Let's go! My point exactly. I think everything else is good to go. Where is chat? I don't have chat in here. I gotta bring chat. You guys want chat on screen? Not that chat. You chat. We want the you chat, not that chat. Where is it? Chat box. Yes. Chat is always welcome. You guys are always welcome. There we go. All right, just start spamming shit. You guys are on board now. There you go. Are you gonna post your meals on OnlyFans? I'm subbing for real. Hey. No, I fucking deleted that OnlyFans after it allegedly started selling people's credit card information. I entirely deleted my OnlyFans account. It was a good joke for a while, but not only did it not allow me to live stream Subverse, which was the whole purpose of it, it also started selling people's credit card information. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that, so I just deleted the account. I said, fuck it. The meme was funny for a while, but I'm not going that far into a meme to risk people's money. Need multiple tabs available for YouTube mobile, I feel. Exit full screen and plaster us on top of their chat. The disrespect! I mean, I could. Hold up. No, I'm doing that right now. Technically. I'm not gonna make it like a smaller box. Hold on. You guys want this, or you guys want this? This might be better. Because, yeah, it's a lot smaller, but I mean, at the same time, it's like it's easier for you guys to see everything going on. That might be better, honestly. Yo, what's up, Joe? Good to see you, man. You guys haven't already, hit that like button. Let's get more people to see this sort of stuff. That way we can get and see more people, more people can see me eat, apparently. No? Okay. He said no. And so I said no. Is that a fade? Hold on. That is a fade. Fine by me. I don't need... This is weird. This is odd. I'm not about that. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Shit. Alright, we got 6 more minutes before they start. Why? Why is that a tab? Why the oh, that's the... Oh, that's what they display by default. That's why they got the little things down here. Okay. That's fucking... Yeah, that's it. This is the end of my streams from now on. It's just, you know, subscribe. Follow me on these things. There you go. You guys want Halo content? That's all you get. Mickey, I can't get rid of that. I can... I have an idea. Let's try this. No. Okay, and then I need background. Ah, yes, genius. Do a gradient, and then do that's cool, but I need a gradient for the background. Oh, there you go, background color. That's terrible. Oh god, that's bad. Here, hold on. At least do that, maybe? And then... There we go. That works. Does that look good? Does that look good? It's a little bit better. Hold on a second. I think clean that up a little bit. I don't know. What kind of cool the gradient? That's fine. I think it's the way the gradient was done. Or no, it was better the other way around. Oh Jesus Christ, that's too bright. There we go. Okay. Alignment. What is that? No, just keep it the same. Vertical, center, up. Outline, give it a black outline. See if that helps make it look a little bit better. Maybe that's what needs to be the purple instead. Ah, that's terrible. Darker, and then increase the size of the outline, which increases the size of the whole thing. What the hell? Chat log mode? I don't want to know what that is. No thanks. I don't know. It's fine. It looks good. It's better than it was before. It's not intermission. It's literally just slapped up there. But we make it work. We make do, ladies and gents. We make do. Because here on the Halfpint channel, we're professionals. And that's all we do, is just be professionals. That text is blurry as fuck, but we don't care, because we're professionals. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, what's going on, dude? How's it going? I'm doing all right. I'm falling behind. I'm still trying to eat my late-ass lunch. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. More food. Why are you so demanding about food? You guys are insane. You guys are weird. I don't understand why you guys like me eating food. Are you going to take off face cam and chat for full screen when it starts? Spiders, that's literally why I just set this up. Do you want full screen instead? What do you want from me? We want more food. That's not the point of the stream. Guys are insane. I'm like, how does this look? More food. How does the stream look? That's great. It'd be like that. You know, it'd be like that. What do you guys think we'll see inside Halo Infinite? I don't know. Do you have any more chicken nuggets? Yeah, okay. All right. Food. All right. Well, you guys are insane. Okay, that's fair enough. Anyways. Music is intense as fuck. I don't understand why. I get it. It's a Halo Infinite reveal, but like, Jesus Christ, man. Sounds like someone's about to die. Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh. Oh, the audio is so bad. The audio is so behind. Feet with food? No. No more feet food. Jesus Christ, dude. I got paid $500 for that shit. No, I agree. First impressions, very cool. Audio's behind. No, it's all good. It'll probably clean up in a bit.
Let's do some damage.
Oh, how many people we got watching? We got 31,000 people watching. 31,000 people, and you can't get the audio straightened up. Dude, E3 was this way too. What is up with Microsoft and fucking up their audio? It's always behind. I don't understand. I mean, it's a cool trailer though, so I mean, you know, it's fine. Yes, Craig's the main antagonist. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, come on, 343. Fix your shit. Fix your shit.
Please call us at your earliest convenience.
Well, they didn't bleep it out that time. Yeah, the whole trailer is different without the audio, isn't it?
What you can do.
Bubba. Okay, now on to the good stuff. Here we go, ladies and gents. Everyone, shut up, shut up.
Hey everyone, what is up? This is Brian, also known as Sketch across the community, and we are coming to you live today from 343 Industries here in Redmond, Washington. And let me just say, it feels great to be back. I feel like today has been a long time coming. I'm excited to finally kick this off. I know you all are, so welcome to today's live stream, and we are going to dive into this weekend's upcoming Halo Infinite tech preview. Now, before we get going, just want to give you guys a little bit of context for what we're going to cover today. Hey everyone, we're going to have a couple guests rotate through. We're going to dive right into the same exact build that Halo Insiders will get their hands on starting tomorrow. We are live, so all the same issues that we're aware of in this tech preview that's work in progress are also in this build today.
This one's lined up.
I know you all are, so welcome to today's live stream, and we are going to dive into this weekend's upcoming Halo Infinite tech preview. Now, before we get going, just want to give you guys a little bit of context for what we're going to cover today.
There you go.
We're going to have a couple guests rotate through. We're going to dive right into the same exact build that Halo Insiders will get their hands on starting tomorrow. We are live, so all the same known issues that we're aware of in this tech preview that's work in progress are also in this build today. So who knows what's going to happen? Hopefully everything goes smoothly, but just ask everyone to bear with us. Also, I've kind of been in my house in the quarantine for about 2 years, if you can't tell. So we might be a little bit rusty, but we're going to have a lot of fun today. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about and show. So to kick things off, I want to introduce Sam Hanshaw, producer on the live team. Sam, welcome.
Thanks. It's good to be here. I'm ready to have some fun and
Welcome, Sam.
introduce our fans to our first tech preview.
All right,
let's,
Sam.
Let's sort of
Let's do it,
start by
Sam.
setting a little bit of context. And I know folks are eager to see stuff and dive in. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, but just let's kind of start at the highest level. We talk about fighting a lot. We talk about tech previews a lot. Kind of what do we want our viewers and our insiders to know? Like, what do we mean? Like, what is the context for what this really is?
Yeah, game looks good so far.
I think that calling it a tech preview, that encapsulates it. We're testing our technology here. We're looking to get players into games. We're looking to make sure that the servers are up and running well, and that we can support everything with our service infrastructure. Obviously, we also want people to have fun while doing it, and we need to get feedback on the breadth of hardware that we know is out there. You know, we can't test on
Make sure the
every
game
combination
plays,
of,
is what you're saying.
hardware that people have for their PCs, but we know that the folks at home can, and so we need your help to do that.
And this is safe to say this will be the biggest scale test that we've been able to do to date. We're talking hundreds of thousands of Halo insiders have been invited to participate this weekend. And obviously we've been hard at work testing. We've done smaller scale flights to lead up to this point. But like, what does that process look like? Like, what's had to happen to get us to where we are today?
Sure, quite a bit.
Yeah, these graphics are insane, right?
Along the way for sure.
Hey, Craig is coming. Don't worry. Don't you worry.
We cut this branch about 2 months ago, and that's when we started with a lot of the testing for it and kind of targeted bug fixes towards getting a stable product to have out today for tech preview. Now, it's 2 months old. It's still got some bugs. We know that. We've got a robust known issues list for folks to be prepared before they dive in. And we expect you to hit some new bugs that we haven't seen. And that's part of what we're excited about.
Graphics are pretty good. Gameplay's a little underwhelming, but guys, just wait till the end. We'll find out. Gameplay might intensify. Graphics are pretty good, though.
But yeah, it's been about 2 months of
a little too good.
Fixing and play testing to get
Jesus
to this.
Christ.
And if I really wanted to roll it back even further, it's safe to say that we've been flighting as kind of a process, which, by the way, for those that aren't familiar, because not everybody uses the same jargon out there, right? When we talk about flighting, it's really the process of putting out kind of iterative pre-release software to a target audience with some expected goals to go after. We put the build out, it tests, we get the feedback, and we act on that feedback and sort of move on to the next one. So safe to say, we've been doing this for quite some time at a much smaller scale. So this is not the first time we've put the game in the hands of civilians, so to speak. So we've been getting feedback all along. I just kind of wanted to bring
Get your
that point
warts when
up.
you get your
This is
warts, goddammit.
It's not like we've just been heads down. This is our first time sharing our baby with the world. We've had a small group of various insider private flights, user research. So all these inputs have been a critical part of development really since the beginning, certainly. But now we're opening the floodgates to get all sorts of new perspectives and I think critically, fresh eyes, brand new perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely. Fresh eyes, fresh hardware, like everything that we could ask for. It's coming from the hundreds of thousands of people who are going to be playing this weekend.
So before we move on, I also just want to comment on, if your Twitter feed's like mine, the invites started rolling out yesterday about 5 p.m.
you're not
to
even late, don't
eligible
worry about it.
insiders.
You're just starting.
It's been kind of a whirlwind of emotions, I'm sure, for many people. Sending out hundreds of thousands of emails, it turns out, takes a lot of time. There are people, as of an hour or two ago, I'm seeing are just now receiving their emails. So I think my message to everyone is, not everyone will get in this particular tech preview and this flight. And we knew that was going to be the case because, we need to incrementally grow. We sort of want to walk before we run, right? But I do want to make sure people know that there will be future opportunities, right? This is not the only tech preview that we've planned between now and launch.
That's correct. This is the first and probably the smallest. So as we grow and over the coming months, as we put out new builds with additional
Just like
features,
MCC.
they're each going to have a larger,
gonna be
and
more.
larger audience.
People
as we
get
get to
invited.
this launch.
So just really critically, if you want to be a participant in a future tech preview or flight, please head to haloinsider.com.
Usual stuff about Halo Insider. We talked about this 1,000 times. I actually did get my invite this morning. So it did roll in. Me and Mickey got ours this morning. People are still getting their invites, like he said. Someone like an hour ago still got theirs. Even if you don't get yours for this flight, there are more flights coming as per usual. It's probably gonna be rolled out the same way they did with like MCC, for
Not only is
instance.
our multiplayer experience free to play, but cross play. I mean, we are really truly going to where our players are, regardless of platform.
Yeah, and this tech preview is no exception. We're going to
Yes,
be
Tank.
flighting this tech preview on all the platforms we intend to ship with at launch. So you're going to be able to play on anything in the Xbox One family, the Series X and Series S, and we're going to be going out to, as I said before, a variety of PC hardware, and all of that's going to be cross-play.
And the PC, by the way, also on Steam, which we know a lot of fans were excited about. I think for the purpose of this tech preview, we're only on Steam for PC, but obviously for launch, that won't be the only means of playing our game. Now, one thing we did want to know, I think, Sam, at a high level, safe to say that the experience that we're going to put out in this tech preview, specifically on each of these platforms, when it comes to like fidelity and performance, safe to say that what's in the preview today is not necessarily indicative of our targets when we launch this game.
Yeah, that's correct. So performance is something that we're working on week after week. And as I said before, this is a build that's about 2 months old. So we cut this from main 2 months ago to work on it. And a lot of the performance work that goes in wasn't appropriate to bring over to this branch because performance work can often create instability. We wanted to keep this as stable as possible when we launch it.
Needless to say, don't judge
So
me. My makeup's not
this
on yet.
build, about 2 months behind in terms of performance. And obviously there's more runway to go.
Get that
before we
makeup
launch
on, boys.
this year.
And I would assume the data we get from this tech
Eyeliner.
preview will be really valuable as we continue to sort of make sure we're supporting the widest breadth of PC configurations, for example. And really the team's goal is to deliver a really solid, performant, good-looking experience catered to every platform that we support.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So speaking of that, I know people are eager to see some stuff. It's kind of cool, really, if you think about it, life to date, we've only ever shown Halo Infinite running on PC. And we're going to do that here live today in a little bit. We're going to show some stuff off. But this is going to be the first time people can see what the game looks like running on an actual Xbox hardware. So prior to this stream, we were able to put together a little bit of gameplay capture. And I'd like to give folks a glimpse at, this is going to be a Halo Infinite multiplayer match recorded, I believe, last week here in the studio. Just to give people a sense of this is the game as it currently stands in this build, running on an Xbox One. So
Are we getting a full
I'm gonna
match?
give a shout out to Joshua here behind the scenes. He's running production for the live stream. Josh, if you want to cue that up, I think people are really eager to see some gameplay. Let's take a look. Let's see how this game's looking currently on Xbox One.
Okay, this is a pre-recorded match. Here we go. Oh! We're straight in. Here we go. Got some OG sound effects in there. Okay. Plasma Space, or whatever it's actually ended up called. Got dialogue back in the game. That was, I forget the voice actor's name. Troy Baker. Troy Baker. Ping system.
Sam, clearly we're looking at a little Slayer match here on Bazaar, one of our new maps. There's a lot to take in, I'm sure, for viewers who are just seeing a lot of stuff for the first time here.
Yeah, I can't remember if we've shown things like
God,
this.
you
It's
lose
not
health
being used
fast.
in the first person. I think it was briefly shown in
Really
the trailer,
fast.
and I think this is the first time we've shown first-person view of someone walking around in Bazaar.
I think it
Where's
has.
health
We're
and
also right
shields?
now kind of getting a look at the friend and foe system that we've discussed in some of our blogs in the past. This is kind of moving away from forcing players into red and blue, allows us to kind of maintain that unique armor customization that's become a greater focal point for Halo Infinite.
Yeah, and I think this is a pretty good example of that, and I think you're really seeing those colors pop out on the Xbox One hardware. It's great.
I think I just noticed a custom skin applied to that AR there that we saw briefly.
The weapon skins are already going to be in the game as well.
Unfortunately. I do love the. Oh yeah, I love the AR skin.
Dude, the GTK is
It's-
really
it's kinda
fucking
nice to be
quick,
able to
though.
Customize your starting weapon. It's the one you're gonna see most often, so I like to have mine
He's got Commando.
looking sharp.
Now, internally, from a development and playtest perspective, I mean, obviously we've got the teams focusing on all platforms and all builds, and safe to say that we've got folks truly getting sweaty on Durango, on Xbox Series X and S, and low, medium, and high PC specs as well, right?
Yeah, so obviously, as I said before, we can't cover every PC spec out there, but we try to have a good range within our testing, and we have folks playing on Xbox Ones regularly, myself included. I try and playtest on.
That's what I was
Xbox
thinking.
One
There's no
as possible,
assassination, was there?
Because it's a really.
I wonder if they're
important
holding
thing
back
for us
on
to
that.
Support, make sure it's looking good.
Yeah, it really
too
is awesome
easy
that we're
to
able
put in
to
the
kind
battle
of
pass for
bring
not
that
have that.
audience forward with us, right? I mean, we know there's obviously a large amount of Xbox One players out there, especially as, you know, frankly, some people I think are still eager to acquire a new console. And with some of the supply chain issues that have come around during the pandemic, not necessarily easy for everyone. So, you know, thankfully I'm not one of the engineers. I can't imagine it's necessarily a trivial undertaking to be able to scale so smartly across different hardware. But I gotta say, shaping up super nice, and really looking forward to getting some feedback from Xbox One players after this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's going to wrap up that clip that we have. Now we're going to show a little more gameplay here in a bit. We're going to have Tom French, our multiplayer associate creative director, join us. We have another match from Xbox Series X that we're going to get into. But once this wraps up, we're going to jump back over to the build, and we're going to look through this real flight build here. By the way, I heard you're a real Needler fan. Is that true?
That is true. I love the Needler. I think it's one of the
Kind of, it's one of those things where it's hard to tell because you need more of a feel for the game, not just visually looking at the game. But not gonna lie,
always been interesting to use.
definitely was not the best match to be showing off the gameplay. That was
This weekend, I'll just say that.
Especially
I guess
against bots.
definitely not jumping out of my seat for that one. Yeah, so they didn't have Assassinations in the trailer. That was also pre-recorded footage, so I mean, they probably found some footage without Assassinations. I guarantee you they're going to have Assassinations just because it's easy stuff for them to put in the Battle Pass to advertise and sell. They can make money off that shit. That's why that's why I've never even brought up the whole, there's no Assassination, what the hell? Because I know the Reachway made a video about it, but it's like, if it's not here on launch, they're going to bring it in some capacity. Don't even fret about it for like 2 seconds.
At our lobby space, I guess. You know, what is the official term for this space that we're going to feed into? Once Josh is able to kind of hit that switch. There we go.
Ooh.
So this is it, right? This is our tech preview build live.
Yep, this is the essentially the menu that you're gonna hit as soon as you boot up.
This is not pre-recorded.
So,
this is
You
live.
see like the multiplayer and academy options there. If you hit start, you can get into our main settings, and there's a few settings I think we wanna show off.
Let's take a
and
look.
highlight.
I mean, no, I like settings. No one's ever
Advertising.
seen these settings in detail before, so we'll kind of take a look here. So we want to make sure, obviously, players understand, and like first thing you should do if you're going to be in the tech preview this weekend, probably just kind of get acclimated, tweak your settings to your liking, just make sure that things are sort of the way you want them, if you will. So I think, you know, I'll just quickly scroll through. I'm not going to speak to every one of these. I think we'll be here all afternoon, but I think you're going to find a lot of sort of what you'd expect to find in some regards. You know, hold the sprint if I want
This
to do
dude
that.
just got an
kinda
Xbox
really
invite.
dial in my sensitivity and all that. I'm pretty casual, so I kind of tend to just run default in a lot of cases. I'm not afraid to admit that.
Yeah, I think that I've never gotten into all the zoom sensitivity settings, but
I'm just worried
They're there.
I would get myself into a state where I would just never land
Okay,
a shot
there's a
again.
lot of
Who knows?
settings.
Maybe I would suddenly sort of evolve to the next level. Now, keyboard and mouse players on PC and also, I believe, console now supports PC
You leaving,
mouse and
Jason?
keyboard as well. Excuse me.
All right, man.
A couple things here they might
See you
want
in
to
the
look
next one.
at that's pretty interesting. If we can get down to it, is the fact that, you know, triple keybinds. You have a lot of flexibility here in how you want to set up your keys. I want to give a
Let's
shout out, you know, as
go!
all the work that happened over the last couple of years to update MCC and bring that to PC, and all the fantastic work by the pub team. You know, being able to have triple keybinds was super important to the PC community. That was great feedback that we heard, and that's a good example of just one
That's a good
of
thing.
taking those learnings and kind of that experience and bringing it over to the Infinite side.
yeah, I think we owe a great debt to all the work that MCC and the publishing team has done with diving in, like, feet first into the PC environment and getting us ready for this.
You know, I'll hover on this one for a minute because I'm pretty sure I haven't been able to do this before in a game. Have I been able to actually just straight up drop my weapon for a teammate before?
Not that I know of, and honestly, it's been quite fun to use, especially when you're playing with like some less experienced players. You can just secure rockets for them and then hand it over to them. You know, they get to play around with a power weapon that they might not normally have gotten.
So, dare we say maybe this is the end of betraying your teammates to take sniper?
Yeah,
you
now
can
you
literally
gotta
just drop your
keep
weapon.
it.
Possibly. Cool. So, a whole bunch of
Nice.
stuff here. You know, this is something else that we, I think, was mentioned in one of our employee spotlight blogs, but marking. This is also a new element to Halo games.
Yeah, and I've actually been really happy with the marking system. So if you're on PC, it is super easy just to mark everyone you see, and the game rewards you for it. You actually get points. You get a mark assist if someone kills someone who you've marked. It stacks with your normal assist points, and I believe there's a medal you can earn for marking enough people who get killed.
So I'll just kind of scroll through here quickly so we don't totally get inundated in settings, but it just goes on and on and on. So let me go over here to video as well. Something else I just kind of wanted to point out, which by the way, I do not, that is criminal for me to be on a FOV of only 70, but you know, we heard, I think this has always been something Halo fans have wanted. We know, and everyone knows, the FOV really does have a dynamic impact on your experience in terms of not only just your vision, but the sensation of movement and speed. All those things are greatly impacted. So pretty awesome to me that on day one we already have a field of view slider, and this is going to be available on, I think, on multiple platforms. It's not a PC only feature.
That's correct. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, what's your preference? I
Should
kind
be
of
a
generally
day
like
one
to kick it up
feature.
here, maybe in the 90 to 100 range. I mean, we can go what all the way up to 120 if we really wanted to.
Yeah, I usually like to kick it in 95 to 100.
All right, well, I'll split the difference. We'll go 95 there. But yeah, just kind of go through here. Lots of different nuanced graphical settings to really allow people to custom tailor based on, you know, their own personal preferences, what's most important to them on their PC hardware. If I didn't mention that, if it's not clear, we are playing on PC here currently. So, you know, you will not have the full breadth of all these options necessarily on every platform. But clearly for PC,
Turn that
it
motion
makes the most
blur
sense.
off.
I thought this was pretty cool
Exposure.
too. Being able to sort of opt in or opt out of something that we call speed lines. So when you're sprinting in the game, we have some cool visual effects that help sort of really convey that sense of increased speed. But if I don't like it, I can just turn it off.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, turn it off. Screen shake, turn that off as well.
Tailored so that you can fully immerse yourself.
Exposure, turn that
or
down.
if you're looking for a stripped down experience, if you don't want that, you can turn it off.
Same thing goes, of course, lots of audio customization here. Want to make sure people are aware of like things like subtitles. You can turn those off and on if you want to. I did want to call this out as well. I know you and I were talking earlier about this, but just a little bit of a public service announcement for anyone playing this weekend in the tech preview. By default, currently in this build, your mic is just set to full open, full hot. So some people might like that, some people may not. Personally, I was kind of caught by surprise when I was saying a bunch of stuff in a game and I thought it was private. So I just wanted to pass my learnings on to you so no one gets kind of caught maybe in a precarious situation there. So yeah, a lot of different options here, including Spartan chatter. We'll hear a little bit more of that when we roll some more footage. And then the last thing I thought would be kind of cool to really
Spartan
point
chatter
out,
can be
we
turned
talked
off.
about
Cool.
this a little bit briefly in some of our blogs, but we have this new system that we're calling Friend and Foe, right?
Hello.
Which, in order to really support and embrace our goals and our aspirations about leaning more into player expression and having a lot more cool ways to customize your own Spartan and your own Spartan journey, it just didn't really work anymore to force everyone into a default red or blue model, right?
Right. And so by default, we have red and blue outlines, but for accessibility purposes, we know that various people can't see in certain
Vermilion.
shades. So we've got a wide array of colors that you can choose for both enemies and friends. And you can also customize the folks in your fire team to be another unique color.
Yeah, it is really flexible, really cool. I also personally being able to sort of, if I want to go old school and display a full gamer tag above someone's head, I could do that. Also helps me sometimes when I'm personally just trying to register a friend from foe. And then, you know, I should call this out. You'll see this in the UI menu here. The theater will not be included in the tech preview, so we won't have that experience. The theater is coming back though. So, and you know, event timeline is a brand new feature. We'll talk a little bit more about
Theater's
that
coming
later.
back.
But
Let's
you
go.
could probably
Let's go.
surmise what that might mean in the context of the theater. And this is pretty crazy too. Weapon offsets. So people want to be able to move that stuff around, I guess.
Yeah, I know people who like to get a slightly different gameplay experience based on some old school games where they have the weapon more centered, or some people like to just push it way off, or so far off that they hit their mic. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I guess, you know, one of the predominant themes here is just trying to give players as many options as possible to really dial in the experience to suit their personal...
Yeah, I agree. Flashbacks. So yeah, there's a lot of good customization coming in here, especially with the UI specifically.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what people think of these settings and the things that they can put together.
If you're trying to go a bit more like hardcore when it comes to the gameplay specifically, yeah, turning off the bloom, turn off the speed lines, turn motion blur all the way down, less exposure. So there's a lot of good opportunities to go ahead and I know Microsoft's been pushing this a lot in their first-party titles. Gears 5 had a lot of accessibility options, but it's awesome to see this coming into even the tech preview as well. So we might even see even more stuff by the time the game comes out. Change the UI, you know, if you want different enemies, you have colorblind settings, you can manually make your own colorblind settings. Good stuff.
Call this one out in particular, right?
Yeah, so we've got a notification for people on PC, especially if you're using the AMD GPU. You're going to want to make sure you update to the latest driver. It is a significant performance increase for PC users on AMD GPUs. So please make sure you do that, and make sure you check out the news for that kind of attention announcement.
Awesome. Well, Sam, I think that's all I got for you today. Any final parting words or thoughts before we jump over and dig into some customization?
No, I want to see the customization too. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Thank you, Sam. We'll be right back in just a moment. We're going to be joined by Jerry Hook here, and we're going to talk about all the things you can do to customize your Spartan in the tech preview. Be right back in just a moment.
Oh, looking forward to that.
A new day is
All right. Well, now we finally got some better audio. Cool. So good stuff there. That was all basically just the settings. Thoughts? Accessibility is always nice. I don't always use it that much, but like the more options they add in there, that's great. It can help you with gameplay, especially stuff with like speed lines. For example, you know, when I'm sprinting, I don't want all these visual effects. If I sprint, I want as much visual feedback on tracking down the enemy as much as possible. I'm not like a super competitive gamer, but I also hate all of these little nuance visual effects that a lot of AAA games, as of late, have been doing. A lot of, because, you know, just because you have the ability to add more stuff doesn't mean you should. But yeah, cool stuff. Awesome stuff. What are you guys thinking so far? Customization, let's go. Yeah, I know, I'm looking for that as well. Yo, what's up, Tech Pro? Cheesecake, they need more of it. Yeah, I concur. There's always a need for more cheesecake. Bloom, maybe change the reticle to not move according to bloom. They had a setting for that. You could turn off bloom. I don't know if it was a slider or if it was a check mark, but yeah, you could, it was under the UI, so you could adjust bloom. Granted, you're not changing actual gameplay bloom. That is a gameplay mechanic. But the little reticle itself, yeah, there was some customization options for that. Cool stuff, though. Fuck bloom. I concur. As long as it's not aggressive as reach. Reach is just notorious for terrible fucking bloom. I've lost so many firefights just because a roll of the die said, no, you're gonna miss this shot. It's like, no, if I land a headshot, give me my goddamn headshot. Oh well. Cool stuff though. Gameplay on the other hand, this trailer's gonna go on for a little bit longer. We can probably go back to the gameplay for a little bit. I mean, it's okay, you know. Again, you're gonna need the feel for this, honestly. Commando's pretty powerful. I think it's supposed to be more of a heavy sort of weapon. No Assassinations just yet, but then again, we're probably waiting for, yes, the Xbox One pre-release on the bottom. That could be Xbox One X, though. Who knows? It looks good, though. That TTK is pretty quick, though. That is a pretty quick TTK, and that's why a lot of people worry about sprint, but that's also what this technical preview is for, so maybe we can tell people, hey, lower the speed. Oh, there we go.
Please welcome Jerry Hook. Jerry, head of design. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Really looking forward to this. It's very exciting, and we're doing it live. Like,
this is
could
live.
not be more nerve-wracking than doing it live.
I probably
That's a
have
good
like
point,
5
Jack.
people
Yeah.
watching. No pressure, no stress.
Not
I
a
mean,
big deal.
it's just between us, right?
Yeah,
We're just
absolutely.
playing some Halo, talking about Halo.
Yep.
So Jerry, I think you're going to join us today. We're going to talk a little bit about sort of the player progression, customization side of the game, things that kind of fall under our live team umbrella. Kind of from your perspective through that lens, what are you and the team looking for? What are your kind of high-level goals? What does this tech preview mean to you?
Yeah, well, first, let's really talk about what a live game means to us. Like, we have so much coming into Halo that we've never had before. We're on more platforms. We're on PC. We're free to play for the first time. So that means a lot, and that has a lot of changes that go into the fundamentals.
All good points.
Part of what I do as head of design is help ensure that everyone has their best work show up in the game. And the base fundamentals we use, we have some pillars that we're using to help make sure that our players get the best experience possible. And the first one of those pillars is player first. And you see that primarily represented in some of our attributes, specifically that, hey, look, the time and the money that you're investing in our title are extremely important. They're job one for us. That's why you see us move the battle pass to allowing us to have that battle pass be switched, and then players aren't feeling the 100% FOMO to I got to get it now, right? That's a player first model.
God!
The other player first model that we're looking for is that our
Fucking hate
experiences
when
we
games
want
do
to
that.
delight, and we want to have those experiences, grow.
That
as
needs
we
to be a
move
norm,
forward.
by the way.
The delight's pretty key there because we don't want to fall into some of the traps that you see with other free-to-play games where they just add chores or they just add things that aren't really delighting the player, but the player has to get through. And so these mentalities change fundamentally what we're doing from a Halo perspective. Next big pillar is we want to listen, we want to learn, and we want to experiment with all of you as players. And this is critical. Like Sketch, you're such a critical piece of this, of listening to the community, and it's everyone out there right now is screaming about Assassinations and screaming about Sprint and everything else that all the various community members, they want to have a voice in the hobby that they love. And we're hoping to bring that to you and, working with you and your team, Sketch and Uni, and as well as, when you look at Toshing, you look at our esports communities, all of them have voices that we want to make sure that we can hear and bring into our experiences. The next pillar off of that is the story doesn't end with Master Chief. The story is actually your story as well, and our story is going to grow even in the multiplayer side. And this is pretty critical when you take a look at what Tom French and the team have done with Academy and all the other stories that they're bringing to play. That's your story in our universe.
Same thing as Call of Duty.
You have a story that continues with you. And then lastly is just for the team.
I'm not dog, I'm
you
just-
see so many stories of
Just
game
reference,
development
Modern Warfare.
teams being burned out and burned to a crisp. And we want to make sure that, our core pillar of we want to be able to build a sustainable and predictable game for all of you. And that's really, really critical because if the team isn't there and the team isn't supporting all of the experiences we want to bring to you, then you won't have those experiences. And so we have to do it in a very predictable fashion. The other thing from a player first perspective, our players should be able to trust us that when we say, hey, we're going to go after, I've seen like the lists on Reddit and whatnot, right? And those lists are huge, right? And we obviously can't solve all of them on day one. In our launch, we're going to launch, and we know that we probably made some mistakes that you're not going to like from all of you, and we're going to need to correct some of those. And some of those you're like, hey, can you make it bigger? We want to go after those as well. So that's all pretty critical. And so in this tech preview, which isn't a beta, is we're testing the technical side.
down to earth
And
about
so
it.
you're purchase everything. If you're in the technical preview, just go purchase everything. We need to test all of our services and connecting with our commerce engines and our commerce services. And Joaquin and our service team are just, man, they're on point. They're amazing, and we just need to make sure that all the technology works. But we will have some customization.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not a full customization at all of what'll be in the launch product. But that customization is going to help at least help us understand what's important to you from the small subset that we're giving you to play with.
Well, I think we should take a look at some of that. Speaking about my custom Spartans, I did want to just clarify one point. You're talking about spend as much as you can, buy everything.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, everyone invited to this tech preview will be granted a bunch of credits. So we're not asking anyone to spend your real money. So in fact,
not at all.
We won't even take your money. There's no way to do that.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to give you our money and ask you to spend it and just go have fun.
Yeah.
So
And remember, prices aren't none of that is final. We're just trying to get some semblance of differences so you as players would know what's
Yep.
better value, what's lower value.
Well, let's go back into the build here, Josh. I guess
play,
we'll
they
go to
gotta
my
make
screen,
money.
if you
You know,
will.
they
I'm
gotta
going to
work
go
at the
into
end
the
of the day.
customized menu here up at the top. Jerry, I thought we might just kind of run through a few of these things, and then we'll kind of just navigate through the world of customization as it exists in this build, which, as you already noted, is just a subset of what we can expect to find in the shipping game. So I think we'll just go down the list here. People are probably very eager, I assume. They've never seen this. By the way, I do like this idle animation. You let it sit, and it just kind of cycles through some really cool sort of 3D assets.
Yeah.
Which is
the
it's nice.
the other cool thing is, like, you just pop into customization, you already know we're doing a lot more, and it was great to hear Sam and you notice some of the customization that's going on with bots and in your own hands with with your AR. That's all in the game people to play with.
All right, well, let's start by going in the armor hall, and then we're just going to kind of quickly move through here, and then we'll kind of bounce around like you and I discussed. So armor hall, pretty self-explanatory. This is where I'm going to customize my Spartan's armor, right? So right away, here we go. Now for this tech preview, because it's a subset, I'm going to have one armor core, and that's going to be my Mark 7 armor core. And Jerry, you and I have discussed this a little bit. Just there's been a lot of questions, I think, in the community since we first started talking about armor cores, right? And we've demonstrated this and sort of showed it off in our old overview video and some prior blogs. So how would you sort of best describe, like, what is an armor core and sort of how should we think about that?
Yeah, so this is one of our new systems. So Christopher Blum and Jeremy have done a really great job here creating this system. One of the things when we stepped back in design, we wanted to rethink how do we help make sure that our players are really represented as characters. And when you take a look at Spartan armor, it's like strapping on an F-22, or maybe you want a set of armor that is like an M1 Abrams tank, right? Each one of those vehicles is unique and has a unique character. The other great thing about that, the thing we're trying to build is we're trying to make sure that the character of that armor really comes through. There's really no better way to show this than, hey, Josh, you have one of the pictures, one of the concept pictures? Yeah. Okay. So everyone saw at the end of that amazing multiplayer trailer the samurai armor. When we talk about strapping on a piece of armor as a unique character, I think our first fracture core, and that's we call these fractures because they're not part of the main canon. They're part of basically side universes that you can look at. You can look at how we're trying to develop the character, and our artists have done an amazing job of really trying to represent the breadth of what we want to look at, maintaining the character throughout the entire armor set, and more importantly, allowing that customization and you as a player saying, hey, look, when I strap on that samurai armor tank, I want to make sure that I can make it mine. And this is the breadth in which we can really express, but stay within the character. We don't want everyone to feel like they're just all one part of a single vehicle, basically. And so then you can look at what the artists have been able to think about, and you take a look at the attachments that you're seeing there. You're seeing swords, you're seeing, a bandolier, you're seeing grenades, you're seeing different hip pieces, you're seeing daggers, you're seeing darts, you're seeing whole different expression of what a samurai could look like. And that's pretty critical for us to help, at least in this first impression and our first moment for everyone at launch. Because remember, at a live game perspective, we are expecting everyone to provide feedback, what works, what doesn't work, so what do you want to see more, and that's where the game will grow as we move forward.
Yeah, this is awesome, by the way. I'm super excited by the Yoroi Samurai in particular, which, by the way, we've also confirmed will be one of the first free pieces of content that players can earn in Season 1 by just completing a free event, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And again, that type of completion where just playing the game and earning things is still a part of not only our DNA, but again, from a free-to-play game, we want to make sure that we provide multiple avenues, not just the Battle Pass.
I still have no idea what an armor core is.
As we go forward.
Like, is that like the red was the armor core, and then you just add the attachments on top of that?
Give our viewers a sense of what that looks like. So, if I were to equip weapon coatings, I could check them out here. I'm just sort of scrolling through, giving people a chance to see some of the weapons that we have in the game currently that they'll be able to check out. So I really love this feature.
This is so sweet because every time you pick up a weapon, right, you take it off the weapon pad, it is your weapon, and it'll be skinned the way you want it to. It'll look the way you want it to. It is just a sweet feeling.
Let's quickly jump into vehicle bay. I mean, one quick caveat here is none of the experiences in this tech preview build will let you drive vehicles this time around. But of course, vehicles are an integral part of our sandbox, huge part of the experience, especially with the return of Big Team Battle.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to that a little bit later this year. But I'll just kind of give people a quick glimpse here of some of the updated models, some of these things we're seeing for the first time, I believe.
Yeah, and again, for what we're showing here from a customization perspective, you make this you. So you get to say, hey, look, no, when I drive my Warthog or when I get on my Razorback with my team, I'm the driver. I get into it first. It's going to look the way that that I want it to look like. And so as you continue to play and you're in the community, you're going to have different looks from players, and everyone will know like it is you in the driver's seat.
All right, then I'm going to jump down one more real quick here in the body and AI. This one, you know, we obviously have a couple different body types I can choose from. I really love actually the depth that we've been able to go to now for prosthetics, right? Just an additional layer of customization and frankly inclusivity as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the biggest thing is just about, you know, from a philosophy perspective for player first is we want everyone to be able to represent themselves. You know, my sister's actually does build prosthetics for a living, and this is very important. It's a part of your identity. It's also, quite frankly, some of it's really cool. And again, we're only showing a very small subset, so don't get lost in that. But the sheer fact that you can do your entire body the way you want to from a prosthetic perspective and really make this your identity is really, really critical for us.
So personal AI is another new addition to the game. We introduced this, people heard some personal AI in the MP trailer, for example.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that became instant fans of Lumu, for example. And I think, you know, we'll talk more about this probably with Tom French in a bit, and we'll see it in action in some of our additional footage. But, you know, this is just a subset, right? So there's...
And it's also just the beginning. Like this is the biggest thing. We have so many things in which you can really express yourself, you know, the way you want to, and even your AI sidekick, it's yours to express. Like it's yours to make yours. And I think the cool thing is that when you see Tom talk about it, and you see the modes you're going to use it in, it really becomes a part of the personality that you bring to the field.
Yeah, and you know, each AI here, for example, has their own unique voice, their own unique personality.
Yep.
It's really fun. And then you can go one step further if you want to, and actually even, you know, a subset of colors as well. So personal AIs are one of my favorite additions to the game currently, and I can't wait for players to experience more of that. And then, you know, we have one more grayed out area here, and this is where I'd be able to do stuff like my service tag and emblem. And, you know, I think you've alluded to, there's more coming than what's in this build, so we want people to stay tuned. Now I think, you know, let's quickly, I want to keep things moving here because I know folks are eager. We got a lot to get through. How about you want to jump over to the Battle Pass?
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe we'll switch, Josh. Why don't we jump over to Jerry? He'll drive us through, and let's just talk a little bit about, you know, what we're designating the Season 0 Battle Pass, and sort of what that's going to be for players in this technical preview.
Yeah, so when we take a look at ourselves learning as a team, the reason why we want to do Season 0 is, like the rest of our live experience, our team needs to build the muscle of listening to the players, of providing fixes, really going through even veteran people who've worked on games, game developers. When they go through a service, every game is different, every team is different, and it takes a lot of muscle building to really get into the rhythm for your teams to be able to add to the game. And so what we hope to hear from on the technical preview side is, again, what's working for you, what's not working for you, what don't you like. Remember, the build is old, so don't treat it as if it's final at all. So as we go into these details, just remember, just send us your feedback. Give us the details that you want to see or improve on. And we won't, again, because we're a few months from launch, we won't necessarily be able to fix everything for launch, but we'll start adding lists together. First thing I want to talk about from a Battle Pass perspective is our challenges. Our challenge system is the cornerstone. It is the underlying thing in which we go. Now, everyone's familiar with these. We've done a little bit different. This is where you start seeing the first rewards that you get outside of the pass. So we know, right? Games are a bit different today than they were back in the day. In fact, back in the day, most people only had 2 to 3 games a year that they even looked at. Today, I bet you most of your Steam libraries are much larger than that. And that means players are going from Sea of Thieves, or they're jumping over to Age of Empires, and then they're coming into Halo as well. And we want to make sure that when you sit down, you don't have to absorb an entire Battle Pass to say, what are my rewards? You can literally just come in, what are the challenges? I'm going to go play my games with my friends, and I'm going to get rewarded for it. That's pretty critical for us from a player first perspective. And then, of course, you're going to get people like me. I'm going to sometimes get sniper challenges. Now, I'm not Clutch in any way, shape, or form, or Mikwin, or any other pro team. I will skip that challenge. So I'll definitely probably swap that for sure. And I'll want to make sure that I don't have to do that, because I'm not good at it at all. So let's look at the battle pass. So we're gonna buy this.
Here's
So
the
what we're
Warhammer
gonna do?
skip
Yeah,
as well.
we
but
granted
you have to pay for more.
You're just like
skips.
a real tech preview
worried about
participant.
that. So
We have given you some money, Jerry.
All right, good. I get paid today. Sweet. All right. Sweet. Got the pass. We're ready to go. So, as you can see, oh, I bought it, so now you can't see the free
Yep,
labels.
you have to get
Oh,
challenge
yeah, well,
slots.
you're right. What we're not seeing is a smattering of objects in this pass are free, right? So
Correct.
even if someone doesn't want to opt into the optional pass in the real game, there will still be a free track and things to earn along
Yeah,
the way.
the main thing you think of from a model that we have is every tier there's a free item and a premium item, and that means that every single player, instead of having most systems, you have large swaths of the tiers that aren't earned unless you're premium. For us, we want you to earn every step of the way. And for the preview, we're only having 20 levels in the preview to be able to go after. And so obviously at launch, we'll have much larger. We're not going to talk about that too much, but the great thing you're seeing here is you're seeing customization all along the way. Do you want to go to yours?
Yeah, we can. Josh, you want to jump back over to mine because I had some development sheets enabled, so I've got everything already unlocked. Actually, Josh, switch back over to my feed there. There we go. So now that we have that context, Jerry, of kind of sort of where this content's going to come from, I'm back in the armor hall. I've just kind of drilled now into this. This is what happens if I click in on my core, right? So.
Yeah.
We don't need to go through all this. I know folks are probably eager to see some more gameplay. We want to talk about bots and arena as well. But, this is where I would apply my coatings, for example. Some of these coatings I'm going to earn. We saw the Keystone coating as a challenge reward, for example. So this is just a taste of kind of what I'll be able to do. I can't wait to see how players in the tech preview, I would hope a lot of people are probably going to easily hit tier 20 and max out.
Yeah.
If not,
That's our hope.
what are you doing? You've had this long to prepare. Like, come on, you've waited for this. We
Should
need
just
you.
be good.
Go crazy. But yes, this is just to give you an idea. As I unlock my content for the core, this is where I'm going to go in and be able to customize that.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this to you the other day, but funny fact, someone pointed out to me that if you want to, I think for the first time in a Halo game, you can have no shoulder pads. Which, hey, if that's your fancy, go for it. So lots of different options here, and
And this is like, you're not seeing things in here like armor effects or other categories that we have listed here. For the tech preview, it's really small, and so we tried to keep it basically the baseline pieces. Actually, let's talk about armor kit for a little bit. That's
what is
brand new
because
concept.
I don't think this is really
So
fully supported in this build, though.
yeah, so when we talk about specifically from a pillar perspective of continuing the story, the armor kit kind of represents a bunch of that story. And so when you see the season, and when we say story, we mean the continuing story of the universe from after you, when you're in campaign as Master Chief, what are the rest of the Spartans doing? You are a Spartan, and so your story belongs here too. But it's also a place in which you can show iconic characters within the Halo universe. And so a kit, for example, you might get, George or Emil, and that is an entire kit unto itself. And so you want to, you actually want to go fly do your battles on the battlefield like George, that's where you would go to get that kit.
Well, Jerry,
What's a kit?
this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
I think there's still a ton of fun content in here for insiders this weekend to experiment with, unlock, explore. I do want to just reiterate as well, we've said this prior, but this is just a test, so nothing that people buy or unlock during this will carry over to the final game. We're going to wipe the slate clean. And as Jerry noted, we're looking for your feedback. We'll have information on Waypoint, by the way, as well as in your flight invitation that lets you know where to go and how to give that feedback. And the team wanted me to also just give a shout out and let people know that a lot of polished work is still happening. So, everything from how things look and are presented, we're not done yet. So, I want to make sure we're giving credit to all the hard work that's still being done and will continue up until launch this holiday. Jerry, any final parting thoughts or words you want to leave to us before we jump over and bring Tom in?
No, I mean, enjoy your time. And, as you
Okay,
said.
I've heard enough. All right. I'll let them do their thing. I honestly have a bit more concerns than good things right now. I mean, I was kind of excited, but it's just Obviously, save your verdict till the game comes out. Try it for yourself. But something seems off. The way, for one, they didn't describe a single thing I was curious about. I got the armor core from you guys. You guys described the armor core a lot better than they did. And now I'm like, oh, wait, that's less customization. Wait, well, hold on. You have armor cores and armor coatings. So, like, you get an armor core, and you have certain parts with that armor core. And we also have certain colors with armor coatings. And that's because armor coatings have materials on them now. What the fuck? And it's not... I mean, this stuff could look cool. I mean, there could be a reason why they do the armor not coatings, the armor cores the way they do. But it just seems odd to restrict customization that way. This challenge system, it's not new. It's literally off Gears of War 5. And I was thinking about this. A lot of the latest Halo Infinite Insider things they're talking about, like the shop and stuff, it's all like Gears 5 stuff. It's like the Microsoft is like giving them standards. We need a shit ton of accessibility. We need push the store a bit more, especially if you guys are going free to play. Understandable. It's kind of, people thought it was scummy in Gears 5, and it's kind of scummy here where like you have the challenge swaps. Like, I want to do that challenge, but you have to get those off the battle pass, or you can buy more challenge swaps. Nah. I mean, they got to make money somehow. All right. Is this just playing the trailer right now? Yeah, it is. Okay. But overall, it's kind of, I mean, the AI is pretty cool, but like overall, like the actual Spartan customization is pretty underwhelming. Also, I pointed it out during the battle pass. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, look at this. Shoulder right. But tier 5, shoulder left. Why is that not on the same tier? Now, that might be because it's the technical preview. I doubt it, because there's going to be 100 tiers. I don't know why you would split up the same shoulder pad on different shoulders, on different, like, that's so unnecessary. That's just padding. That is literally oh, I got the shoulder. I don't want to wear it, though, because I only have the right shoulder. Gotta wait till I get the left shoulder. I'm being a little picky right now, but god, man, it's just, there's so much restrictions from, like, previous Halo games. And previous Halo games, you chose the colors. You chose the customization. This is almost like restricting. Like, what we give you this, but the cost of this. You get armor coating, the armor material now with the colors, but we pick your colors now. You have badass, new, awesome customization, but we pick the armor has to be on now. It's odd. It's odd. Again, we'll have to wait until we see it tomorrow for final verdict. Let's see what Tom's got.
I thought we might just open up with
What's up,
kind of
Tom?
giving you a chance to, from your perspective and your team, how are you thinking about the tech preview? Kind of what are your goals? What would you like our audience to know from your side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jerry and Sam kind of hit a lot of it on the head. Really, the focus isn't about like kind of fair, balanced arena starts. It's really about a tech preview. We need to get a lot of data. There's a lot of PC data we need to do. Now that we're not like just, single console focus, there's a lot of information we need to really strengthen up our back end before we launch this game, to really just make sure everything's strong for the fans when we go live.
Yeah, and a lot of work obviously still happening. We've kind of covered that. Now, I think we've got I think safe to say we have sort of 2 signature content sort of buckets, features, if you will, of this tech preview, right? We've got an Academy experience, which I think we're going to talk about here first, and then we're going to move on to bots from that. So let's start by the Academy. We teased this a little bit. I think folks learned about it for the first time in our overview video last month. So from your perspective, what's the Academy all about? Where did it come from? What's the idea behind it?
I'm really proud of the Academy concept. Wake, when we started the journey to, what was going to become Halo Infinite, we needed, I don't know if you know this, but when you go to play multiplayer, it's intimidating to a lot of people. And so we needed to kind of create a ramp for how players get there and kind of smooth that out along the way. And so we thought about, like, what are the obstacles that players have to do? And so the Academy is broken into like 3 core parts and then kind of a 4th extension to that. But the first part is a tutorial where we teach you the fundamentals of the game. We'll introduce you to the kind of the canon around the MP Spartan and what is the player Spartan's purpose in the greater universe. And then the next step after that, we have weapon drills, which we'll get to play with and talk about today, which is cool. And those are really about kind of just giving you a chance to put your hands on a gun in very simple settings, really just kind of mono-focused, right? And just really focus on how that gun performs and learn. And there's different skill levels, which we'll get to see a little bit. And then the third part is the what we call the training mode, which lets you play arena matches, basically, or arena slayer inside of all of our arena maps. And lets you run around and you can configure the difficulty of the bots, you can configure your loadouts, you can configure, I don't know, there's just a bunch of tuning knobs to let you really kind of soften the experience. And then the next step I would say beyond that is once you kind of get comfortable in there is we have 4v bot matches. So we have 4 players. Halo's a team-centric game, and so we want players to learn how to play together kind of first and foremost, and you do that against bots before they kind of start getting headshots across the map.
Well, you mentioned weapon drills, which is the sort of the slice of the academy that we're including in the tech preview. I think we should jump into a weapon drill or two. I'm sure our viewers would love to check that out first. And I mean, Tom, if you're willing, I maybe put you on the spot here. I mean,
Thank you.
You can see how much I suck
I can
with
embarrass
a bunch of the
myself. I
guns.
mean, you know what?
Why don't we trade off?
Why don't we each do it,
All
right?
right.
So I'm happy to go first, Josh. If you want to jump back over to my POV here. I've already kind of jumped into the Academy menu. I'm presented with an option for weapon drills. You know, I did want to point out this is not the entirety of our sandbox, right?
Nope,
This
it's
is
what's in the flight, basically.
It's a slice, right? So I would expect more weapon drills. So, you know, I think I don't know like what fans would be most interested in seeing. I'm going to guess they probably don't need to see an AR
No,
weapon
let's show
drill,
them-
right? So
maybe
let's
show
do
them
something a little
something.
more exotic.
Yeah.
Now, I might do this because this is
Okay.
one of my personal favorite new
Sure.
additions to the game.
Sure.
This thing is a beast.
It is a beast.
It sounds awesome. It feels awesome. And real quick, Tom, how would you want viewers to understand? Sort of, I got 3 options here
Yep.
for my weapon drill.
So there's 3 tiers of weapon drills, and the basic one is static bots, and they'll just stand there, kind of just let you get the hands on the gun, right? Shoot the basic targets, and it'll score you on your performance and kind of give you a grade so you understand how well you're using with that gun. The next tier, they're kind of on more just like kind of simple paths or crouching behind cover and things like that to kind of show you how to use the weapon, get you to move to that next tier of how do you track a target across the screen. And then the third tier is more, they actually are doing combat behaviors. They're not firing back at you, but they're running around and they're ducking and they're a lot less predictable. And so they're kind of harder to track. They're kind of using more of the actual bot behaviors and mentality. So
I guess I'll split the difference and go, I'll go like a tier 2 here,
Okay,
right?
okay.
I mean, don't judge.
let's see how you score.
Don't judge.
All right.
There's a
I
lot of
probably
pressure here. And I mean, safe to say there's been a lot of internal trash talking as well, right?
Yeah, we trash talk a lot, especially about scores. Like, I mean, you know, we're a competitive team at our core, so that's what you have to do.
You know, and speaking of, too, I think there is a cool, not only is this a learning module in a lot of ways, but there is a competitive angle to it. And, you know, I think safe to say down the road, the team's thinking about possibility of things like leaderboards and kind of how do we really bring that gamification competitive element to this.
Yeah, that was something that we really wanted in the core design, and just, you know, it just didn't fit into the schedule. So we're just building this kind of as a platform for how we can add more over time.
Okay, here we go. Not doing good. By the way, that's something our fans noticed right there. We have damage per sort of location-specific visual indicators on damage, right?
Yeah, it's really helpful, right? It really helps just that pop where you're hitting.
Look at that! I choked right there. Now, are you a feather the trigger person with this weapon, or do you just sort of pray and spray?
I'll just be honest, I'm hot garbage with this gun. That's first and foremost my problem. I'm trying to get better with it. I kind of use it as like an automatic, but when I'm kind of at range, I'll switch to kind of the feathering.
Oh, no.
Oh man, that pillar got in your way.
That was not a great
It wasn't
performance.
terrible.
2-star. I
It
mean,
wasn't terrible.
I think there is a bonus for like a quick reaction, right? Like if I were to quickly zoom in on the target right when it appears, I think I might get an extra.
I think there's
points for
extra
that,
little
right?
bonus points and little twists around it. So
All right, I want to put you on the spot now. We're
Okay.
going to switch over to your point of view. So
Okay.
So first of all, okay,
right.
going for the
You should
controller,
go.
right? Because
You
we
should probably pick
support
that up.
mouse and keyboard or controller. Doesn't
I'm
matter.
a controller guy.
Whatever suits your fancy. Tom, I am hearing from our friends over here in the room that it sounds like chat is unsurprisingly very interested in seeing the BR.
I think that's expected. Let's bring up the BR then. Let's see how. I mean, I'm okay with
I do
this.
like where you're going with the more exotic weapons, though. So maybe we just kind of break the rules and squeeze in a third game.
We'll squeeze in another
okay.
one. I'll try to go the third tier, so people can see kind of the different behaviors. And so you see there were kind of more bouncing targets in what you were doing. So you'll see this. They should take a little more cover and stuff. But yeah, obviously a fan favorite weapon. I'm really nervous how well I'm going to score.
Both. It's on Xbox
see.
and PC.
Well, at least we're picking different
It's on-
weapons, so
it
we're
will
not
be on
really like,
Steam.
we can't really compare
Confirmed.
each other against each other, right? So
Yeah, people are already making fun of me in the stream. I can see it, or imagine at least. I'm really terrible about managing my reloads. I'm like an incessant reloader. See there, I probably shouldn't have reloaded right there.
Well, it's not, when we're missing shots like you and I do, it makes it a little hard to be predictable on that reload.
I know.
Too,
I
right?
really feel like it's part of my job to get better at this, and I'm trying. And I am getting better. I'm a little more better at, like, BTB is kind of my brag. But you can see they're kind of dancing around a little bit. They're strafing more. They're not just bounce patterns. I'm hitting headshots at least.
Yeah. You almost got this.
Crap reload.
Time's up. I think that's a pretty good score. Well, it's a new high score compared to whoever else played on this build.
I think nobody. So all right.
Yeah.
So I hit tier 2. So rank 2. So yeah. So you can see like we're trying to kind of give you some grading so you can understand your skill level and like how you can get better, or a little bit like kind of encouraging you to get better, so you can understand where you're meeting.
All right. I think we're getting the request. Let's maybe like at least one more. You want to play one more since you're already in? Why don't you do it? I'll put you on the spot.
I'll do it.
So I'm hearing that there's a lot of interest in the heat wave. This is I don't think we've really seen or shown this really to date. So this is obviously new and exciting. A little bit unconventional, right? A little bit different.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, it has an alt fire, which is cool. It's something that's kind of new to Halo. I know Quinn and his team was really proud of that. And kind of how do we introducing this kind of concept into the game, and how can we use this kind of more in the game. This weapon's really fun, and the two alt modes, or the two modes, are basically vertical and horizontal fire. I can't remember how this drill performs, so see, one of the things cool about the drills is they're trying to do behaviors that actually encourage you to use the weapon correctly. So like these two were bouncing near each other, and so you can get a more optimal like kind of horizontal shot.
Yeah, and I know folks notice it's pretty nuanced there, but I think you're using your left trigger to sort of swap between those two different
the
fire
two modes,
right?
Okay.
Yep.
All right, get together, boys. Thank you.
And this will penetrate, right? So you can line guys up and just take them all. Very cool.
Last shot sucked. There we go. Oh.
It's not a complete power weapon. It's kind of...
I'm definitely not managing my reload. I feel like I have more time in the game, right? Like when you're in a match, you like hide behind cover, but this is definitely that like kind of stressful, which is in a good way. Like it helps you get better by, going through the repetitions and the drills.
Well, the world watching doesn't probably help.
Yeah, it doesn't help. I think I'm more nervous about you just giving me shit after. Oops.
We're fine. That's all right. We ran the ESRB up front. We're good.
Oh,
we're good. We said
I can't help it.
Content may not be suitable for all audiences. Look at you, man. You're sandbagging us here. 3-star. You're a master. So
maybe we haven't tuned those scores yet, so maybe
we're not going to go through every weapon drill, but when the tech build goes out tomorrow, the weapon drills will be available right away. So you folks that are in the flight can play to their heart's content all weekend long. We encourage you to do that, and I want to see people kind of see if you can beat Tom's score. There you go. Let's throw the gauntlet out.
Yeah, please. I mean, please beat my score. If you don't, I'll be disappointed.
So Tom, obviously, we talk a little bit about bots as it relates to the Academy experience that we just saw here, but bots is kind of the other signature experience as part of the tech preview. So before we get into the specifics, bots are brand new to Halo. Like, what do you want the world to know about bots? What's cool about them? Why are you excited about them?
I'm really excited about bots because, again, playing multiplayer in Halo is a scary thing, and so it gives players we have this kind of notion of safe and being able to play safe and offline in the training mode and things like that. And so having bots to really reflect kind of player behaviors is a big goal of ours. And so actually our bots don't cheat. I'm really proud of the work our bots team has done. They really are emulating player behaviors. They're doing things like watching the motion tracker. They're listening for footsteps. They'll pre-nade an area as you get into the better bots and things like that. So they actually are kind of reflecting player behaviors back into the game for you to, even if you're a learning player, you can kind of, oh, it did that. That's something I can learn as a tool. But again, really just giving players safe place to experiment and learn and warm up. Like we found out, the community was like, when we first started talking about, they're like, oh, I can warm up before a match and stuff like that. And that was absolutely part of the intent. And we see we do it actually internally, or watching our pro team do it as well. So.
Yeah, they're no slouches either. I can say. I mean, let's talk about that for a minute. We've mentioned this a little bit in our blog last week, but my understanding is we want to kind of ease people into the experience this weekend, so they'll be able to jump online. And I think it's our second lowest skill level bots to start with, right?
Yeah, we have in the game we'll have 4 different tiers of bots. There's recruit, and then there's Marine, there's ODST, and Spartan. And we're gonna start with the Marine level, which is basically kind of like a silver level player, and then we have the ODST, which are more like a gold, and then
Spartan.
The Spartan is I'm losing my words right now. But they are obviously the higher difficulty level. But we're trying to get really just They're the plat level player. Duh. I don't know why I'm thinking that. But yeah, so we're trying to just really kind of ramp it up. We want to let players play against the different spots so we can see the different kind of how players perform against them. We know they're not, they're not going to like, they're not shotsy. They're not going to like just dong on you like immediately, even when we get to our highest level. They really are a warm up and a learning tool inside of the game.
Yeah, and I think, my understanding is too that we want to get focused testing and data and sort of feedback on each of those sort of bot, you just mentioned the bot sort of skill levels. So if, for example, we get enough engagement and the collective community slays enough bots after we go live on Thursday, my understanding is, okay, cool, you guys have passed phase 1 now, right? So then we're going to kick off and escalate and sort of raise the difficulty up and introduce the ODST bots. So our hope and expectation is that everyone out there is playing so much, we're getting all the data that we need, and we're just going to keep ratcheting it up with the goal of, let's hope by Sunday we've got Spartan bots out there, and we'll really see how some players can stack up to that. And I believe we're also going to kind of gradually introduce maps in a similar fashion.
Why?
So the big message there, I think, for tech preview participants is we need you to play a lot and come back every day, because we're going to try to keep that experience evolving and keep it fresh. I also wanted to shout out that we're going to be keeping an eye on our stats on the back end and looking to do a little celebratory shout outs on the Halo Twitter account. So each day we're going to be looking for which player has slayed the most bots, who's won the most games, and also I think kind of interesting, which team has been able to get 50 slays and win their game against bots the fastest. And what's really cool in a twist here, we're going to track all that. We'll shout you out on our social channels, but when this game launches this holiday, we're going to capture your gamer tags now and be able to grant, you'll be the first ever recipients of one of our sort of exclusive emblems, nameplates rather, for the Fire Unicorn, which has been sort of something that we've had throughout Halo 5, a little bit in MCC as well. So pretty cool. We're able to kind of start that muscle now a little bit.
Yeah.
So bragging rights, high stakes, slay a lot of bots, play a lot, but don't slouch, because these bots mean business, especially by the time we get to Sunday. So Tom, the last thing I kind of wanted to switch into as well, speaking of evolving the experience, we're thinking about possibly turning on some classic Slayer Arena, I believe, as well at the end of the weekend, correct?
Yeah, so I mean, I think, the intent is we're going to start with live fire with the map, which is one of our arena maps, and then we'll go into recharge, or we'll add recharge, and then we'll add Bazaar, which is set in Mombasa. Actually, I really want people, especially our fans, to really look around that map. There's some kind of nerdy lore things in there that are super cool. But yeah, then the intent is at the very end, we can unlock basically a chance to play some 4v4. There's a bug in there right now where sometimes you won't match at 4v4. You can get a 3v4 match. We should backfill somebody into that match, hopefully, generally within a minute or so. It depends on, obviously, matchmaking and population times at that point. But yeah, so it should balance out. Again, it's not going to give you that full, fair, like, core competitive Halo start, but it will give players at least a first chance at like hands on stick to kind of put sights on another player.
For sure, and I just kind of wanted to reemphasize, like our number one priority is the bot experience, and it's getting all the data that involves, because I don't think we mentioned this, but even just from the dedicated server's perspective, a bot match kind of taxes the servers and uses resources differently than a traditional PvP match, right? So it is important to us that we load test that.
Yeah, the bots are actually, they're running on the servers, and so they're actually putting weight on the servers. And then it literally, because it's 4v4, 4 players versus 4 bots, you're going to spin up twice as many servers, and so kind of testing scale and stuff like that at that time as well.
As long as we hit these gates and sort of checkpoints over the course of each day, we could have quite a bit of fun here at the end of Sunday night. But I did want to reiterate what Tom pointed out. We are aware the experience does have some rough edges. But, as long as you're willing to sort of put up with that, we'd love to jump in and be able to have that fun with you as well. So, Tom, I think the last thing that we're going to jump into here in a minute is we have one more gameplay footage. We have a full match we recorded. Before we do that, though, I have a couple other things I think I just want to rattle off. One, split screen comes up a lot. It's a big part of the Halo multiplayer experience. I did just want to call out that is not supported in the tech preview. It is still something that is important to multiplayer for launch, obviously, but in the tech preview, will not be supported. So I think honestly, I believe you could even split screen in with your buddy on your couch, but then you can't load into the playlist together. So I just wanted to call that out in case folks get stuck in that situation. Something else that I just thought while you're here we could just chat about, I could ask you. Folks started asking this question as we showed off some of our MP content last month, and they're obviously going to sort of get the experience firsthand starting tomorrow, and that's about Assassinations. We saw a couple moments in the trailer where we saw some clutch back smacks that probably would have been an assassination. So, folks have asked us, are they in? Are they out? What's going on with Assassinations? So what's the scoop there?
So they're not in for launch, and I think we're just going to be straight about that, right? Like, we actually really love Assassinations, and I remember being at an HCS tournament with Quinn Del Hoyo, our sandbox lead, right when I took my gig, and we were watching a match, and somebody went to backsmack somebody, and they had Assassinations enabled on accident, because they turned them off, right? And they got this amazing assassination. It was a super hype moment in the crowd. But, you know, what happens at a lot of levels is people just turn them off because, you know, there's a gameplay disadvantage of it. And so one of the things we really wanted to do is take a step back and how do we think about how do these fit into infinite gameplay loops? And so one of the things that Quinn and I keep talking about is, like, when we bring them back, we want them to be back and fit right into our sandbox and the loops of the game, and bring them back in a way that really just feels meaningful, so they're always an accessible tool, but also kind of a flourish moment that people have.
Yeah, so, you know, we talk about this a lot. Launch is only the beginning. Jerry alluded to kind of what it means to be a live service and those opportunities that it brings. This is a perfect example of something that I know is already on the team's radar, and I can't wait to, it's something to look forward to, and I can't wait to see how bots evolve and eventually, Assassinations
Well,
evolve.
bots will evolve
Too, right? No, you're right. Getting assassinated by a recruit bot would be I think you have to resign at that point if that were to happen.
I think we delete
right?
your profile at that point.
So I think one more thing we want to show today, you know, I know people have still been clamoring for, like, we just want to see a full match. Just show us a match end to end. So we have that here today. We're going to do that right now. Just to kind of tee this up, I believe this was recorded last week or so. This is Xbox Series X gameplay just directly out of the console. These are not bots in play. This is a 4v4 Slayer on Livefire. Yep. I think a few members of our pro team mixed in with a couple members of the studio at large. You know, kind of to your point, right now for this focus, this is not, we're not trying to sort of say, telegraph, this is the competitive side of our game.
Exactly.
So this is about social, it's about fun, it's about learning and kind of evolving. So no one should read too much into that, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is not your, you know, your BR starts really curated level. This is kind of more what like we call internally like our pub experience or our non-ranked.
I'm like trying to wait for these guys to finish, but I mean, I can't interject on anything right now.
Josh, if you got it ready, and you know, Tom, if you want to we can provide some commentary along the way. We're not going to try to cast this or anything. I'm sure folks are just eager to soak it in.
I get Bravo to yell at me later if I do.
It's about 7-8 minutes.
Yeah, Mickey, you're not the only one, man. I'm feeling a little. I'll go more in details about this, but honestly, this to me looks and sounds like Modern Warfare mixed with Gears 5.
This is a pro team POV.
Talk more about that later.
Let's see how good they are. Right off the bat, going for the
he's got the heat wave, right?
Yep.
So he switched to vert.
Steitzer.
Stites. It's good to have Steitzer back. Or we call it, there's some nickname of Steitzy is kind of the people implementing the VO. They threw down a shield, covered the position.
Yeah, I like that little peek technique. I haven't personally done that, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot by watching this pro team video actually and how to play it. Like we watch them, we have regular weekly play tests with them. I don't play with them generally because they're so good, and we put our kind of better players up against them.
Also noticed that player went straight for the power weapon that spawns on this map in Slayer, which is hard for me to use, if I'm being honest.
So you'll see, like, I mean, so you can see the friend foe. That's one of the obvious things you're looking at here. I know Sam was talking about it earlier. This is something that we've continued to kind of iterate and evolve, even beyond this build. I think this might be our main build right now. This power weapon spawns there.
Skewer is it's satisfying as heck, but it's hard for me to use.
I am worse at that gun than I am with the commando rifle for sure. When you hit a target, like especially a vehicle, it's super satisfying. Alright, so he was spectating.
Spike Ranger back. Plasma pistol still looks weird as fuck from Halo 5.
Tried for it.
Tried for it.
Hard for us to hear in studio, but I believe you'll hear some personal AI coming through.
Yeah, you're hearing. There's a few things. So there's the Spartan chatter that we had in Halo 5. It really just kind of brings the battlefield, gives a lot more like reaction feedback to what's going on in the game. But you'll hear this personal AI, and what we did with them is we replaced what was called Spartan Leader, our team leader, and it's just a more personal version of that, and they have a lot of personality, and so it lets you kind of swap around and kind of customize that feedback, and they give you a lot of low-level fit. Pulled the power up.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, that's a change, right? It doesn't activate on pickup anymore. You can hold on to it.
Yeah, we think that'll bring a lot in the long term and allow us to do more things with power-ups than kind of just, you know, traditional kind of just quick stat kind of reflections, but having like really the notion of power equipment in the game.
One thing that we won't see from as in this point of view, I really love the visual language that you and the team have introduced. It's very obvious when someone's pocketing a power-up like that. You'll see a glowing trail
Yeah, there's
behind
like a
them.
contrail behind them. Yeah, that was a big thing, is making sure we at least telegraph that information. That was, you know, making that switch. There was a lot of critical lenses on making sure that there was at least a readability to it in the gameplay.
I mean, so now it's sort of that risk-reward, right? Do I hold this and wait for that final push? Do I burn it now so I don't lose it?
Yeah, you make a lot of choices that way. Like I sometimes will pocket it and think I'm getting cocky, and then I'll lose it, and I'll give like overshow. That was a dope. I'll give the OS to the enemy, which is, you know, super risky at that point.
We're seeing a couple of little sort of, what do we call those, tutorial tips popping up there, which
Yeah.
you can turn off in the settings.
Yeah, you can
right?
turn them off, but on they're death tips is what we call them. But yeah, giving a little bit of feedback, you know, about the type of weapon that killed you, or like how you can respond better to it.
I'm not sure at this point the pro team needs to know that, like, hey,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, slide
Like,
boost you
just
did.
opt out if you don't really care about it, if you don't need that information, or it makes you feel bad, as some people might feel.
I do love this map.
Yeah, the pelicans flying by. It's the, you know, it's an homage to Sergeant Johnson, Sergeant Avery Johnson, Academy of. So it's kind of cool just to kind of pay homage to, like, you know, one of ours and everybody's favorite character in the set of the Halo canon.
By the way, whoever this player is just getting active camo every spawn. I don't know what the other team's up to right now.
Seems to be watching that call out. Yeah, the power ups.
That visual effect is too much when he first puts on the active
They're up
camo.
on a pad. They have a lot of messaging and broadcasting about them, so you know when they're coming up.
Now your Spartan AI will tell you that, right?
Yeah, the Spartan AI calls it out as well. So there's a lot of information just kind of driving feedback. You get the stick there. You can see, like, there's the weapon racks you'll see in the levels as well. He ran past one a second ago.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
back
it's in the
there
background, right?
Yep.
What's cool about them is, like, you know, before you might run past where a weapon would spawn and then not realize that it's coming up in 2 seconds, and it could change your choice and, like, how you deal with it. Like, when we playtest this morning, I actually stopped at one point on a weapon rack because I was like, oh, it's like 2 seconds out. I might as well wait for it and switch out my pistol, which I think I'm just telling everybody that I'm really bad with a lot of the guns in our game.
Watch my back.
That was nice.
I do love the sidekick.
It's really cool, and like when somebody's really good with it, it's really threatening because they can just feather that thing super fast. And just crack
This
people.
this player really likes this little, like, drop wall kind of
Yeah,
corner
covering a
technique,
post,
huh?
yeah. And, like, kind of locking down an entryway so they can watch their backs. It's neat to watch how people use these, like, all the different equipments in different ways.
Spike obtained.
Well, hopefully a lot of players this weekend are going to be lighting this up on social, sharing clips with us, because I can't wait to see just some of the new creative ways that the community at large figures out how to use this new sandbox.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, like, I mean, like, the way we have our maps tuned, like, in our main builds, is they have different equipment and stuff on them, and because we don't have the entire sandbox in the flights, is we swap things out. So it's actually not even the same kind of, basically, map placement path that we would have in the released version of the game. But you know, it just at least gives us something so we can get something in there for people to play with. Oh, match is getting close. You can hear the music starting to kick up, kind of signifying the end of the match is coming.
I do love that. The multiplayer music, very cool.
I'm really proud of the multiplayer music. There's a cool story about how we got to basically getting the music in the game. But it really meets this tone. It's something I've really wanted since Halo 4, was this kind of post-rock soundtrack to the multiplayer. Well, actually just a Halo, but it became one of my goals for multiplayer.
Taking damage.
Last kill.
Lost a teammate.
5 minutes remaining.
Cool.
In my sights.
Victory.
Halo's got some drama.
It
Oh,
is.
I got
There
it.
we
Somebody
go.
else got it.
There we go.
Cool.
Yeah, that was actually me playing.
Oh,
That's
was you?
my-
Nicely
yeah,
done.
Since we won.
Nicely done. I'm proud.
Hey, so I'm happy that we were able to show that today. Not only kind of our first time showing the game on Xbox Series X, but we know the community's just show us a full match end to end. So happy we're able to do that. You'll be able to see a lot more of that, obviously, firsthand this weekend. And I think safe to say, once we get a little further down and we're ready to talk more about the competitive side and some of the ranked settings, we know people are probably eager to see. I would love to see a true 4v4 pro team match. So
That would be brutal.
we'll bring that later. Tom, any kind of final words or parting thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap this up today?
I mean, mainly I'm just really excited to finally get to put this game in people's hands. And even though it's just a tech preview, you get to at least touch the game. You get to run around. You get to experiment with the sandbox. You get to help us, be part of our team in a way. And then, just help us kind of keep building towards the next flights as we get to launch.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We're super excited. I'll be playing all weekend as well. We'll be online playing, watching. Just wanted to go through a couple quick things right after this broadcast is over. If you want to head to HaloWaypoint.com, we have an updated blog that'll go out that'll kind of recap the official play times that we recommend for the flight experience for people who are involved. You can take a close look at some of our known issues and just kind of get a better sense of what you can expect this weekend. Also, just wanted to mention that we're also going to be flighting our next version of Halo Waypoint. So on app and web, we call it Waypoint V Next here internally. That actually will be included in this tech preview. Really cool work happening there to help really extend my in-game experience out beyond the game to web and app. You can sort of experiment with your customization, challenges. That functionality will be working during the flight. Encourage folks to check that out as well. And as a reminder, if you want to be a part of this and an opportunity to play future tech previews and flights of this nature, head to HaloInsider.com. Sign up. Please make sure your profile is complete. That includes, we need you to verify your email, and we need you to make sure you pick which platform you want to flight on, one or both. And if it's PC, we also need you to upload a DX to AG file. All the information you need and all the steps are clearly outlined. Just go to HaloInsider.com, because next time we're going to go bigger. We need even more people. We got to go larger scale because we still have a couple steps to go between now and launch this holiday. And lastly, just want to say thank you to everyone. Clearly, the community, we really appreciate your feedback, your passion through the years. We know you've been eagerly awaiting this moment as much as we have. The Insider Group in particular, huge part of our MCC project to bring
Okay, he's
back-
gonna go on for a while. Okay, that's enough. So where do I begin? So we got most of the praises out with the trailer, honestly. So a lot of those you're kind of re-seeing this, and now as we're seeing the gameplay, you're getting the whole ordeal here, a little bit of everything, right? The goods, the bads, and the uglies. I mean, overall, it looks pretty solid. But going from the trailer to actual gameplay, I'm seeing a hell of a lot more Halo 5 than I am than what the trailer was showing. The trailer made it look way more like a bit more of an OG game. I'm getting way more Halo 5 vibes out of this. And honestly, I don't care about the visuals. That it looks like they're going a bit more showy than... Again, I can't say much on this until we actually start playing the game tomorrow. And of course, I'll let you guys know. I'll play the game, and I'll let you guys know how it feels. But this just... It feels more of a visual thing than a feel sort of thing. Like active camo, I'm trying to compare this active camo to grabbing active camo in either 3 or Halo 3 or Halo 2, right? You go, you pick up active camo, your glove turns invisible. You know you got the active camo. You got the woo sound effect. That's it. That's all you need. You need the sound effect, and then you notice your first person gun starts getting active camo. Here, it floods your view for a whole second. You can't see anything. It's kind of blurry. That's not... Is that necessary? Yeah, it's got that blue hue as well. I don't know. That just seems like there's just so much unnecessary visual feedback that doesn't need to be there. And again, with the badges too, man. The cool thing about the OG Halo games is that you didn't have a badge for fucking everything. The first match, you had a grenade. It was bounce off or bounce that or something like that. It's do you really need a badge for getting a bounce grenade kill? I guess? I don't know. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm trying to be open-minded about it, I mean, it looks significantly better than the demo we got last year. I mean, it still visually looks pretty good. Spartans look kind of toyish, but I mean, graphically, it is good. Looks fantastic. The sidearm, I am kind of excited to use this little sidekick. It does look pretty powerful. It's like a faster firing version of the Reach one. You know, it's pretty good overall. I don't know if I saw him zoom in with it or not. I don't know if you can actually zoom in with that weapon. Was that a kill at the Needler, by the way? He kind of just looked away from the... Yeah, he just looked away from that dude. Does a little bit of zoning here. Looked out for that guy that was chasing him. So Needler seems pretty powerful. That's cool. Kind of like the shield reaction when being hit. When they get hit. Like when you when you hit somebody or when you get hit. Like the first person view. Oh yeah, that effect. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good about feedback there. Skewer actually looks kind of hard to use. Looks like there's a lot of skill involved with it. Pretty precise. It's not just an easy heavy weapon. I'm trying to like figure out where the commando fits in. It's odd. It's like you made a heavy assault rifle. I can't just say it zooms in because you just saw the AR just now zoomed in. The commando is just like a heavy precision assault rifle, I suppose. I mean, the BR is still more powerful. The commando, I guess, is like a heavy assault rifle? Like, that's just what's weird, yeah. And people are still going to call it the BR and the AR, but, like, they're trying to push those names more, like the MA-36 or MA-35, whatever the fuck it's called. It's like, no, I'm just going to call it the assault rifle. That's what it was always known as. That's why. That was the beauty of simplicity. That's what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling like they, simplicity is key, and they definitely did not go for simplicity, I suppose. There it is. What are you guys thinking? Can't just insta power up in a fight. What you mean? I kind of don't like the look of the sidekick. Makes me think of a modern Beretta. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the weapons in general kind of look that way, honestly. I mean, that was one of my favorite things about Halo is you had the assault rifle. It was an AR. It was futuristic looking, see? Well, it was the AR. You had the battle rifle. You had the pistol, sometimes called the Magnum. And none of them were, like, very militaristic looking, you know? But they all had, like, simple names. The shotgun was literally called the shotgun. But now they're pushing the names a little bit harder, and they're giving the military looks. And that's why the commando confuses me more. It's a military weapon. It's just, it doesn't fit a category. It's just... It's interesting. This whole thing is interesting. I kind of like that there's a visual distortion, etc. Makes activating AC or OS a tactical decision. Yeah, it's a different decision. Because overall, the entire multiplayer experience seems to be built around visuals taking more of an effect of what's going on. So I guess you'll have to keep that in mind. This specific multiplayer is also going to be built around visual effects in play with the game. That was a nice grenade throw. I just saw that. He threw that through the shield. That was a really nice grenade throw. The BR seems pretty nice, though. I don't know if it was just me, but I feel the headshot bonus damage was weaker than usual. Might be me. Kind of hard to tell. What was weird is that first match specifically, the TTK was super low, but like this match here, you can see the TTK is not nearly as low. There's a lot more time to kill in this specific match. So, either they're playing different modes or they're playing different builds. Because if it plays like this, you know, I'll take this. There's a decent TTK here, but when it came to that first match we saw earlier in the stream, like people were dropping like flies from like any weapon. Where's my mouse at? There we go. So here's the first gameplay bit. Okay, he got melee there. That's probably why he dropped so fast. You got weapon skins for the weapons you spawn in with now. What's the pulse carbine? I think this is what it's called. Probably good for shredding shields. It is all pretty open in that area, so it looks like he's taking fire from a lot of different angles, so that might be why he's specifically losing his shield so fast. So maybe it's not how low... No, I mean, that would be a factor in TTK still being lower, considering... Yeah, he took about like 2 or 3 shots there and still had 3/4 of his health. Assassinations, I'm not really surprised aren't in the game. I figured they were going to bring him in at some point in time. That's what I was saying earlier in the stream as well. I mean, it's easy thing for them to advertise, put into a battle pass. We have Assassinations back. Get your Assassinations in this battle pass, right? Modern Warfare did the same thing, except they did it a lot more subtly. In Modern Warfare, like the first or second season, they brought Assassinations, but they just put them in the battle pass. They didn't talk about it, they didn't hype it. It was just, you get, or it was also in the shop. But they just started adding Assassinations into the game that way. Absolutely adore the lighting. Looks really crisp. It does. I agree. The lighting looks really good. The darks and the shadows are really well done because it's very, very easy to overdo the shadows, crush them a bit more so you can't see anything. But like the lighting overall is really good. This area right here reminds me a lot of Halo 2. It's probably what it's based off of since this is literally taking place in Mombasa. One big pet peeve of the customization, it's more of kicking out the uniqueness of your own Spartan. Like, I love the armor, but color of your own choice is what makes the character more unique. Yeah, they almost entirely ripped out customization uniqueness. Now it's, you choose an armor core, and you unlock customizations within that armor core. Then, you use an armor coating they designed for you. Like, if I'm being honest, I'm not really looking forward to customization in this game. It sounds pretty weak. A lot of the armor pieces still look like really small, so it's like the actual customization you get is not going to be noticeable. It's just, oh, he's a samurai dude. And you're not going to notice the actual customization on there because it's so small. The shoulder pieces, for example, are all like really small, as they were in 4, as they were in 5. There's some cool things though, like there's a little katana that you could choose for customization. There's some pretty big chest pieces, so there are some unique things we might be able to see. Maybe there might be some different helmets. We haven't seen if that's an option yet or not. That'd be pretty dope looking at some different helmet options. It is kind of weird though, like going through the battle pass and it's got like, the left shoulder is on 4 and then tier 5 is the right shoulder. Why not just put those on the same tier? Why the fuck do I have to get the left shoulder and the exact same shoulder on the right one on a later tier? Like, that's just, you're just padding a fucking battle pass at that point. In the match, there was a point where he was able to spam like 4 grenades. Not enough time between throws for me. Well, he did pick up those nades. He picked up the... I think I know what you're talking about. When he picked up the spike grenades, he threw all those 2, and then he threw the frag grenades as well. Because you spawn in, I think, with the 2 frag grenades, and then you can pick up more. I mean, Halo's always been kind of a grenade spammy sort of game. It's an element or a factor that plays in with the shields. Also, grenades are thrown too fast, easily spammable. I would have to see like the throwing speed. It looked aight. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see what you mean by that. Either way, we're gonna be getting some gameplay tomorrow. We're gonna check it out and see how your thing is. What else are you guys thinking so far on the gameplay side of things? Any opinions so far? I know it's kinda negative right now. I mean, it's not bad. You know, I'm kind of just talking about what all I'm seeing at the moment. Saw a lot of goods in the trailer, so I kind of just be regurgitating that content. You know, it's not like I'm just trying to like dog on the game, because overall it still looks good. It still looks promising. I am though overall pretty disappointed that I'm getting a hell of a lot more Halo 5 vibes out of the gameplay than what we were initially seeing with that trailer. Like, it's like super Halo 5-esque. I am kind of curious what the gameplay might look like with the vehicles. We won't get vehicles in this flight. We'll get it in the either the next flight or whatever other ones they plan on doing, but we won't have vehicles on this specific flight. Those nails hit hard. Yeah, there's those sprint lines he was talking about. There's the rocket launcher. More like Halo 3 and Halo 4. I'm not saying that Halo 3. They're doing their own thing. If anything, the best way I can describe this game, it seems like if they took Halo and made it a combination of Gears 5 and Modern Warfare, specifically. And the way they're talking about drills, it's like, guys, drills aren't really... I mean, it's new for Halo, but it's not like a new thing. Like, it's going to be awesome at first. Like, everyone's like, yeah! And then after the first couple months, it's just going to kind of sit there and no one's really going to use it. That's usually how those go, though. It was when, at the spot in the trailer where it first shows the AI, he threw 2 spike grenades and 2 frags in about a second and a half. I can take a look at that. Personal AI seems interesting. Reminds me of the Titan AI customization from Titanfall 1. Jeez, was my boy. Jess was my boy. Yeah! That's what I was thinking. The same thing. It's just all the AI. I thought about Titanfall 1. Dude, I love that shit. I had the Russian guy from Titanfall 1. That dude was awesome. Dude was so aggressive. It was so cool. Okay, there's that. Let's go check out the new Halo Waypoint post, if there's anything specific in there. Maybe. I think there's a lot of people trying to hop on that site right now, so it's just saying no. There we go. Okay. Sunny Summary. What's that Cortana? That was the other thing why I was bringing that up as well. It's like, when they're talking about the story's continuing after the campaign. It's like, okay, so you're kind of just following that latest Call of Duty formula. I'm not going to say they're copying and pasting, because they easily could have come up with that idea before Call of Duty did it. Just took a while to develop, but I mean, it's familiar. You know, that's how you can draw points. I'm kind of excited for that AI. Dude, they're going to do Virgil, hands down. I can see Virgil being a little AI. Hands down. Reason why they didn't make a circle AI. Guarantee it. First tech preview is just around the corner. It's a moment we've been building up for quite some time, and we're thrilled that so many people, many of you are excited to dive in and check out. We've been hard work on, blah, blah, blah. Reminder. Okay. Regardless, if you're on the hunt for the nitty-gritty details of the upcoming tech preview, you've come to the right place. Just below, you can find the following. Dates and times during which the tech preview will be up and running, a rundown of content you can find in the tech preview, details around where you can deliver tech preview feedback, and info on how you can reach out to our support team if needed. To that end, here's a quick rundown of the top level details to get you started. Check out the latest Inside Infinite, which provides a deep dive into our flighting process, our goals, approach, and much more. Read it here. Note that while the tech preview is live, you'll always have the ability to matchmake. But if you're unsure of when to play, please join us during the following scheduled play times. Thursday, July 29th, tech preview is officially live. Go Wild, Spartans. On Friday, July 30th, scheduled play times will be from 12 to 2 and 7 to 9. On Saturday, it will be from 12 to 2, 7 to 9. Sundays, 12 to 2, 7 to 9. And Monday, tech preview closes at 10 a.m. Tech preview is live. You'll always have the ability to matchmake. But if you're unsure of when to play, I'm so confused. Note that while the tech preview is live, you'll always be able to matchmake. Gotcha. So you'll always be able to get in the game, but you'll only be able to matchmake during these times. They phrase that so fucking weird. Okay, so those are the times we'll be able to play. Although it sucks that they're doing it during certain schedules, there's a reason why they do it that way. I don't blame them. That's also how they can drive up a peak amount of players without just consistently leaving it running. Available content: Bot Slayer, Weapon Drills, Waypoint VNext. I'll have to download that app and test that out. Support and feedback. Halo Support Insider site will be available for players to use all weekend. Those that make it into the tech preview will have access to new links that will only be available to invitees. Ha ha ha. Please check your forthcoming email and or Waypoint messaging for appropriate links. Hungry for the finer details? We've got you covered down below. Not opposed to multiplayer being a kind of continuation of the story so long as they don't pull a Call of Duty and delegate writing 2-3 guys locked into a closet for a month with yeah, I agree. I mean, something that players have always wanted for Halo for a long time as well is the ability to, stretch my neck. The ability to continue the story after Master Chief, and that's what they keep saying. It's your story. It's your story. Something big they've also been mentioning quite a bit as well is a player first sort of take on, which to a lot of people sounds like nonsense. It's really not. It's like when you start your retail company, you're working for a retail company, and then they start saying, you know, we have that customer first mentality where the customer's always right, always right. And in your head, you know, the customer's not always right, but you have to serve it that way specifically because the customers do know what's right. They probably did that because there's a lot of times, especially during Halo 5, 343 outright said, we know what's best, that's why we're doing this. And then it backfired in their face. Hardcore. And so they're doing like a whole 180 here saying, player first. Always player first. It's probably a big thing for them to do within the studio as well, to always take in that feedback. And that's why they were trying to push that point home so much. At least they were open and honest saying that, hey, we're going to take as much feedback as possible. We're listening to you guys. Some of it's not going to come on launch. But we're going to take in as much feedback as possible. You know, they're pretty open about that sort of stuff. I'm still getting old Halo 5 vibes where even the devs were unsure what the game will be, so they show off something random like the trailer of Locke and Wounded Chief about to execute. Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that they've gone through like 2 or 3 creative directors. That's probably why I was so astonished by the gameplay trailer when it came out last month, because I was not expecting it to be that good. Got a lot of like Bungie vibes out of the way the trailer was edited as well. That's what got me so hyped, honestly. So that's why I'm, after seeing the gameplay, now I'm like, okay, I'm back to being worried again. And now I'm remembering other things like, they did go through like 2 or 3 creative directors, which is why I'm worried about the story. Oh, now they're wanting to continue the story in multiplayer. Wonder if they finished the campaign story. Oh, wait. They brought Joe Staten like the last minute. Like, the big thing I keep telling people is like, Joe Staten's an awesome dude. Don't get me wrong. Amazing dude. Has done some amazing work. I've done so much research on the guy because when I did that Bungie doc. Like, to the point where I figured out that apparently at some point in time before he went to game dev, he tried to become a CIA agent but got rejected, and then he became, he started doing, he went into game design instead. Or, as a writer. Anyways, so as awesome as Joe Staten is, the problem is, he did the same thing for Crackdown 3. Just keep that in mind. He joined and helped at the tail end of Crackdown 3 the same way they're doing for Infinite. So am I excited? Sure. Am I tampered? Very. Very, very tampered. Like, we'll hold on verdicts until the game comes out. We have a tech preview tomorrow. I'm excited. They're trying to make sure the game is as solid as possible when it comes out. That's always a good thing. Okay, let's go through more of the tech preview. Halo Infinite is the most ambitious title we've ever made, and we're thrilled about the new entry into the Halo universe. This weekend, we're thankful that so many of you have signed up to help us test what's in the build, and perhaps more importantly, what's behind it. Also, I do want to point out their load screens were pretty quick. They had some pretty quick load screens. This weekend, we've got a few main focuses for the preview. To test the services behind the game at scale, gather tons of real-world data about PC hardware configurations, and to collect your feedback. Okay. Known issues in Halo support. AMD players should make sure AMD graphics driver. Okay. We have a pesky bug related to matchmaking that can result in players being unable to join into a session, timing out, and then returning to the main menu. When this occurs, the match will proceed, but you might be missing a player from your game for a brief period until another player joins in progress. We're aware and tracking a few different crash scenarios through the overall average failure rate is well below our target. We're particularly interested in getting more crash logs from a wider breadth of platforms as stability work continues eternally. Various situations can cause stuttering, desyncing, warping, and other abnormal behaviors. Occasionally, player scores will not appear during the victory screen at the end of the match, and or post-game carnage report may not load after some matches. Rarely, a player may begin a match unable to see their own weapon and have reduced audio. Rarely, a player's melee attack may not register as expected. Sometimes, after pressing A at the title screen, challenges, customization, and commerce screens take a while to appear on the main menu. Well, at least they're already aware of those issues. Content included. We have Bot Slayer for 1. At the very center of this tech preview will be Bot Slayer playlist, which features 4 players squaring off against 4 bots on one of their 3 possible maps: Livefire, Bazaar, and Recharge. Please note that while players can team up online, split screen is not supported in this build. Split screen is coming, just not in this build. Fair enough. With bots being a brand new addition to Halo, we're excited to get a chance to let you go toe-to-toe with our state-of-the-art spar partners. Bots also utilize our dedicated servers in a different way than standard match-made games, so it's extra critical we get large-scale real-world testing to help ensure a smooth launch this holiday. We're going to kick things off with the lowest skill level of bots on a single map to help everyone get accumulated and ease into the experience. If the community can collectively help us hit our daily engagement goals over the course of the flight, we'll increase the bot skill and add more maps. The more bots you slay, the more the experiences will evolve. They'll get more deadly with each update. So dive in early and often to make sure you've got a handle on what skills they're bringing to the battlefield. That sounds cool, but I can already tell you it's going to be very tailored because you're having people play from 12 to 2 and 7 to 9. Wait, it was 7 to... Yeah, 12 to 2 to 7 to 9. So, I mean, it's already kind of a tailored experience for people only playing within a 2-hour gap. Shit. No. I can play on, no, Thursdays whenever. Okay, I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah, Thursdays whenever. But, 2 p.m. is 4 p.m. my time. So if I got off work on Saturday, I think I'd get like an hour to play on that first one. I'm not even going to be able to play on Sunday. Oof. I guess that's fair. Interesting. Pacific, PT. So, Mickey, it'd be 3 hours ahead for you. So 12 would be 3 o'clock for you. Um, if you're also able to hit our target engagement and testing goals for the bot slayer before the flight concludes, we're looking to enable a brief opportunity for some good old-fashioned 4v4 social arena slayer. If we hit this phase, expect it to land sometime in the final stretch of the flight Sunday evening, so I'm probably going to miss out on that, honestly. So I'm literally just going to be fighting bots the entire time. Expect there to be a few potential hiccups with your experience. Specifically, we know that in some cases, players will end up in a bad state as a session is forming and after a brief delay. Will be kicked back to the main menu. As a result, the game itself will start a 4v3, which is currently a less than desired experience all around. However, as a technical preview, getting additional scale data around the problem across a breadth of hardware can be invaluable to the team as they work to solve this issue. Based on our prior private flights, we can generally expect that on average a match will start with a 4v4 approximately 60% of the time, while the other 40% involves a 4v3 start. Dana, that's an often fucking problem. 40% of the time, with the final player joining in progress within a minute. It's not bad though. I mean, you have joined system progress, which is good. We'd love to get some additional testing and data to help the team. Cool. Weapon drills. Interested in locking in your aim. Okay, so we have all these different weapons for the weapon drills. Cool. Battle Pass and menu UI. Cool. In the upcoming tech preview, we're going to be granting Halo Insiders a set amount of in-game credits, CR, so that they can dig in with a very trimmed down version of our first Battle Pass. Worry not, we're saving plenty of content for launch. As a reminder, none of the items unlocked over the course of the preview will carry over to the game's release later this year. Everything should be considered work in progress and not indicative of the final shipping system, including the cost of customization pieces in the store. The cost? I mean, you can buy... Oh. You can buy customization as well? The order in which they're unlocked in the pass, the XP granted by challenge, and more. Those are, okay, things you're also trying to find. Okay, so we might be buying some cosmetics as well, not just the Battle Pass. The key focus here will be to test out the systems that dedicate you to unlock and equip items are working correctly, so keep an eye out for anything that doesn't work how you would expect it. Let us know. We're going to have our ears open for your feedback. Waypoint V next. If you read through the June 2021 edition of Inside Infinite, you know that big things are in store for Halo Waypoint, and as a part of the upcoming tech preview, you're going to have the chance to see it all firsthand. Perhaps the coolest part, you don't even need to be in the flight to check it out. Halo Waypoint's new version, which we effectively refer to as Waypoint V Next, is going to launch on web for your standard browser experience, along with iOS and Android in your app form. If you're joining us for tech previews, then you'll be able to use this the same experience to edit and update your Spartans in Halo Infinite. If you're not in the tech preview but are still interested in checking it out, feel free to. Everything will work for MCC and Halo 5 as well. Alright. A little render right there. We can't wait to hear your feedback. In addition to the surveys, we'll be sending out a portion of Halo Insiders on Monday, August 2nd. We'll also be dedicated feedback threads ready and waiting for you on Halo Waypoint and Steam. Notably, these links are currently live, but the threads themselves will not unlock until the tech preview has gone live. Bot Slayer feedback, blah, 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 blah. Alright. There we go. There's a little reminder. Cool. So there is your all-in-one information, everything you need for Halo Infinite, the tech preview, which will be going live tomorrow. Everybody can use the Waypoint vNext app, or as they're calling it. I think it's just the Halo channel, or whatever the current Halo app is. Or you can just go and log into their website tomorrow, and it should be working. I wonder if it's going to crash tomorrow. I don't know. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully it won't. But it looks like things are... Ugh. Things were interesting. This is definitely one of those we're going to have to wait and see scenarios. I'm definitely not jumping out of my seat like, I gotta do it now! I'm kind of excited, but like I'm also kind of worried in a lot of regards. The reasoning for no assassinations made no sense to me. The reason was basically, it's not working, we're just going to have to do it later. Which, I mean, it's fine. You know, I mean, if you have to just bring it in later because it's not working, okay. Or, again, what I'm thinking is, you can advertise an entire battle pass by saying it introduces assassinations for the first time, you know? Bringing in new stuff per, like, the first one's like, it's Halo Reach Armor. The next one is, we introduced Assassinations for the first time, but it's also themed around, Combat Evolve, or whatever other thing they choose. Or maybe it's, like, Covenant themed, specifically. But I feel like it's definitely going to be a way of, like, advertising a battle pass. This is our first battle pass with assassination inside of it. Bit of a moneymaker, is a free-to-play game, is what it is. Hillfight Infection all over again. Pretty much. Pretty much. You already know I'm about to flame them for customization. Yeah. Because they're like, guys, keep in mind, not all the customizations in this build. It's not the amount of customization I'm worried about. It's the way you're going about it. The armor core system is not... That armor core system made no fucking sense. Why was any of that necessary? So here's the deal. You choose an armor core. This right here, this Spartan, is your entire armor core. You didn't choose these customization settings. This is the armor core. You choose all the white pieces. There's some cool stuff on that one, sure, but I mean... And there's also concepts. We don't know what all of those actually did make it into the game. I don't know. That's just so weird. I just want to link beards with Tom French, like the blue people in Avatar. What the fuck? Basically sounds like I heard you like shoulder pads, so I got you a shoulder pad for your shoulder pad. Pimp my Spartan. Yeah. Like, they had it in Halo 4, and then they changed it in Halo 5, and now they're doing it again. It's like, guys, it's not that fucking hard, you know? Even if you literally just brought back Halo Reach customization, would have been fine. You know, just add on top of that, goddammit. But, like, this is just... It feels so convoluted. Maybe we'll just have to wait and see once it comes out. This might actually look cool. I mean, it could look cool, but it also seems restricted because you're restricted to just the customization that armor core gives you. You know, you're not going to be mixing and matching shoulder pieces. Wait a minute, what the fuck is the point of unlocking shoulder pieces on a battle pass if those shoulder pieces only go for a specific armor core? Is there going to be global armor pieces, maybe? Would they have, like, a global shoulder piece that goes on any armor core? Because if they don't have global pieces, then what the fuck is the point of unlocking customization if it's all tied to a armor core? Unless the Mark 7 is like the default armor core, and like every battle pass gives you even more Mark 7. Okay, so it is possible they could give you as much customization as possible by adding a shit ton of customization to the Mark 7 armor core specifically. Okay, that would make sense because Mark 7 is the basic form that we have from like all the games. You know, it's just basic Spartan. I guess I could see that because if that's not the case, then it'd be very convoluted. It's like, all right, we're in season 5. You're now getting these armor pieces just for your season 5 armor cores, right? Or that's not. I mean, it's not a bad thing, you know. It's like if you take the Modern Warfare characters, but you add customization to them, and that's basically what it's doing. So it's still better in that regard. But like in Halo, it's almost like feels like a downgrade from what we've had in past games. That's fucking weird. All right, ladies and gents, that's what we got. We'll have to wait and see on more information. I will let you guys know tomorrow. We'll be streaming it. Should be a lot of fun. It'll be open up all day, so I will stream it like right after I get off work tomorrow morning. So should be a good time. Look forward to it. Found a lot of weird things today, but vibes are neutral. Got some neutral vibes out of this one. Some neutral vibes. Thank you all for watching a long time, not a hard time. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody.